Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 film Late Night with the Devil, and it's directed by Cameron Kearns and stars David Dalmalchian. When popular TV host Jack Delroy's ratings start to plummet, he plans a big comeback on Halloween night, but things soon take a turn for the worst. Now, I hadn't heard about this movie until just a couple of months ago when the trailer dropped, and when I watched that trailer, I instantly thought to myself, this is something I want to watch because it looked totally different, something I hadn't really seen before by the looks of things, and when the horror genre can give me that, I'm always going to give it a go. When I watched that trailer, the first thing that really popped out to me was the visual style of this film, and I gotta say that is one of the best things I can say about Late Night with the Devil. The aspect ratio of 4.3 just works perfectly, and it feels like you're watching this on an old CRTV with the now and again fuzzy blurriness that comes onto the screen. It feels like the TV has been tuned in to about 96% instead of 100, and it just felt like something straight out of the 70s. And it wasn't too much, it didn't feel too retro because obviously I am watching this on a big screen, but it all worked well with the mix of modern and old visual style, really. But it really did transport me to the 70s. It just felt like I was there. I mean, even the decoration of the show in the background, the dull oranges and browns, just really make it feel like that era. I was not alive in the 70s, but I kind of know what it looked like going off old clips and YouTube and stuff, and I feel like it just nailed that time period from what I have seen personally. But also, this movie takes place on Halloween night, just to give it that extra little bit of flavour, and there's people in the audience dressed up in Halloween costumes and stuff, you know, to add to the fun. But it feels, I know this is weird to say, it feels like an autumn October movie because of that. It feels like it's taking place around that season, which it is, but it gives off that vibe, really. And that is weird to say because it all takes place inside a TV studio, but I suppose the decoration with all these colours and that just fits the 70s and autumn, really. It just mixes well together to recapture Halloween night in 1977, which is where this movie takes place. Now, this movie also goes to advertisements now and again, or Jack Delroy will say, you know, we're going to go and take a quick break here, and little images will pop on the screen saying, be back soon. Now, I don't know which ones were used for AI. It could be all of them for all I know. I have not looked into this too much, but that is a topic for another discussion. But I thought they looked kind of cool, you know, really fit the retro vibe that it was going for here. But when these breaks happen, or these advertisements, we don't actually see that. We just see the movie change to a black and white filter and what is going on in the background with these characters. So it's kind of like a backstage look at things where these characters who are trying to put a front on for the TV show, the guests and the presenters, they kind of come away from that a little bit and just go into themselves and talk to other people who are working on the set and stuff. And you see a real glimpse of what they might actually be like, not on the TV show, but in real life. And they kind of are trying to work out what's going on with the show, because even Jack Delroy, the presenter of the show, is kind of confused with all the strange goings on that is happening on this Halloween night. And he's trying to put his finger on it, but he's also happy with the views that are coming. And characters are trying to work things out. So it really builds up something here with a little bit of the tension as we work towards the horror, with the characters just trying to put their finger on things and get some answers, and us as a viewer do feel exactly the same as that, because we know something like the characters in the film isn't quite right. And just going off that, guys, I've got to say this movie just gripped me from start to finish for a number of reasons. One, what I've just said, where we are moving towards something. It's very mysterious, very intriguing, but you kind of really wanting to know what is going to happen on this TV show on this night. But also just the fact that it's a TV show within a movie, it just felt brand new to me. It felt very fresh and original. And I feel like I have never seen anything like that before in a movie, the way it's done. But that's why I think I was just fully invested from the off, because I was just like, wow, this just is something different. And David Dalmalchian really helped along this movie with what it was going for by being the presenter Jack Delroy in this film. Now, I felt like I had known Jack Delroy all my life. It felt like I had watched this guy for years, and he was talking to me through the camera as like a friend or a viewer. And for David Demolshin to make me feel that way just shows he absolutely nailed the role. Now, it's a little bit of a different role to what usually actors are accustomed to, because he's playing a TV presenter here, and a TV presenter is different to a movie star, really. So he is a bit of both. He's obviously a movie star, but he also has to play this presenter. And I think he blended it perfectly together to find that perfect striking balance. So for him to take center stage here, and he's usually an actor I see play side characters or usually the odd villain now and again, for him to take center stage here and be the main focus and be the main star of this film, I was so happy to see that, and I hope he gets more roles like this going forward. He may have played main roles before, but most of the things I see him in, he's kind of on the side, but here he is taking up most of the screen time, and I thought he'd done it fantastically. Me and my friend who I go to cinema with, we don't talk through movies, you know, we obviously respect the audience and stuff, like all audience members should. But about 15-20 minutes into the movie, he just turned to me and whispered and went, "He's acting his ass off here." And I was like, I don't know. So it just shows how well he done there.
Oh, good evening, night owls, and thank you for allowing me into your living rooms once again.
And within the film too, Jack Delroy brings on these special guests, and I thought each one of them had something different about them. They all felt unique and had different personalities, and it was just interesting to hear from each one of them because they were just fun characters, really. And they, even though they brought something different to the film, they were all talking about the same type of subject. So to do that, which was mainly, you know, psychics and you know, talking about the paranormal and stuff, but for them to bring something fresh and new each time another one came on, even though we're all staying on the same subject here, was an achievement as well. And the dialogue back and forth, where some of them are conflicting with each other and arguing back and forth, that was all interesting. And that's another great thing about this movie, the dialogue, because for the first hour or so, it is very heavily dialogue driven, but it moves the story forward as well as being interesting as well. Now, there's a young actress in this called Ingrid Torelli. I haven't seen her in hardly anything. I think this is her first big feature film that she's been involved in, but she plays this young character called Lily, who is brought onto the show later on in the movie. And straight away, you can tell something's not quite right with her, and the movie tells you that straight away anyway. But it's real edgy or seat stuff when she is brought on. Like, I was always nervous as to what was going to happen with her. I'm not going to get into it too much for spoilers and stuff, but she really felt very off, and you knew something was coming with this character when she entered the screen. And I just thought she pulled off an absolutely impeccable performance for such a young actress. She was fantastic in this film. Next to David Demolshin, she was the standout performer. I gotta say, guys, again, refraining from spoilers, something happens later on in this film, and I was just watching it going, holy shit, this is why I love the horror genre. It might just end up being my favorite horror movie moment of 2024. Time will tell, but so far it is, and it's gonna take a lot to beat it, because when this happened, I was just like, wow, this is awesome. I'm going to say there's some great makeup design here, guys. There's a little bit of CGI thrown in as well as some practical effects, but none of it looks bad. Everything looks perfect. I think that because there isn't too much of it as well, it just comes into play now and again, but when it does, nothing is an eyesore. It all fits in nicely to the visual style this movie is going for. Now, I've got to say, guys, I'm not really usually the biggest fan of comedy in horror unless it's done well, and that was the case here. Now, this is a TV show, mainly, isn't it? It's going for the TV show, the talk show. And well, usually when you watch them, there are jokes thrown in between with the presenters and the guests. And we do get that here with the crowd laughing along, and you're laughing along with them. But it was all perfect comedic time. And like, it was never too much. It was thrown in at all the right moments, just letting us know that this is a TV show now and again. And, you know, people are here to have fun. And most of it came from Gus, who was another great character in this, who's kind of like the assistant to Jack Delroy, you know, like his right-hand man here. And, yeah, I think it struck that perfect balance between the horror and comedy. However, guys, this film does have one glaring negative with it, and it is a big negative to me that kind of brought the movie down a little bit, and it is a shame. But this will work for some people. For some people, it won't, I imagine. And me and my friend both agreed that it didn't work for us. But that is the final 10 minutes of this movie, the climax, if you like. It kind of shifted tone a little bit there. It felt like we were kind of escaping from what we were for the first hour and 20 minutes and just doing something different. And I was getting real Beau is Afraid vibes, which is a film that came out last year that I just didn't like at all. And I kind of wanted it to go in a different way because I really wanted this film to end on a high. And I respect the filmmakers' with the filmmakers' decisions for doing this. That's that's the way they wanted to go, and that is fine. And there is a message in there, how much the cost of fame and stuff like that. There is a good message in there, but for me personally, I just didn't really care for this climax. But like I said, it will work for some people. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now, guys. I'm going to give Late Night with the Devil a 7.5 out of 10. I probably wanted to give this higher if it just weren't for that ending, but this was something totally new and different for me, something fresh and unique, and I loved most of this film, 90% of it anyway. But the end is kind of what you walk out remembering, isn't it? So, yeah, probably just have to stay on the 7.5 scale there. Okay, guys, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Late Night with the Devil is that Stephen King actually got a screener for this film and said it was absolutely brilliant. He couldn't take his eyes off it, and he recommended it to all horror fans. So, yeah, Stephen King is a fan of this film as well. Okay, guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want more 2024 horror movie reviews, they will be in the link down below. What did you think of Late Night with the Devil? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you all, I promise. Thanks so much, guys. If you liked this sort of thing, if horror is your genre, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It really helped me out, and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.